Hey guys, it's me, Miss Mills, and welcome to Mrs. Mills' Math Time. The whole point of this video is to help you out with 1 and 2 step equations worksheet. I'm going to do 2 examples of 1-step equations, and I'm going to do 2 examples of 2-step equations. If you're still struggling with this and you need extra help or have questions, just let me know after this video and I'll help out in any way that I can. But let's go ahead and start out with some 1-step equations, do some examples of those. So the first one I have chosen to do is we can go ahead and just do number 1 together. So what we have is -75, and that is equal to -5, and our variable is v. All right. So before we get started, I want to make very clear when you have a number next to a variable, you need to automatically assume that that is multiplication, okay? Anytime that you see a number next to a variable, it will always mean multiplication, just like that, all right? Why is that fuzzy? There we go. All right. So the whole point of a 1-step equation is we want to isolate our variable, which is v. So we want to get it by itself on this side of the equal sign. So that means we need to get rid of this -5 right here. So first things first is I'm going to make a balance beam through the equal sign because I want to make very clear that when you put a balance beam through the middle of the equal sign, that means that whatever you do on one side of the balance beam, you have to do on the other side of the balance beam as well. Or in other words, whatever you do on one side of the equal sign, you have to do it on the other side of the equal sign as well to keep everything in balance so you can get the correct answer. So again, reiterating, I want to get v by itself, so I need to do the opposite of -5 times v in order to get it by itself. I need to do its opposite. So the opposite of -5 times v is going to be divided by -5. The opposite of multiplication is division. So -5 times v, to get rid of that -5, I have to divide it. And if I divide it on one side of the equal sign or the one side of the balance beam, I have to do it on the other side as well. And then I can solve. So -75 divided by -5, remember a negative and a negative will always equal a positive. So -75 divided by -5 is going to give us a positive 15. And then, well, these cancel out, leaving us with our variable b, okay? Whenever when you do the opposite, you can go ahead and cancel those out, and what you have left over is that v, and that is your final answer. And if you're not 100% sure, well, you can always check it too. What you can do is, since we know that 15 is v, we can substitute 15 into the equation and see if we get -75 as our answer. So what we have, again, is -75, and that's equal to -5, and our v was 15. Well, just check it real quick. If you're not 100% sure, always grab a handy-dandy calculator. All right, and what we have is -5. We're going to multiply that by 15. And as you can see, or maybe you can't see, yeah, you can't see that at all. Let me try this. Oh, wait, you can almost see. As you can see, we have -5 there. So that means that this is correct. -5 times 15 does give us -75, which, that matches up, so we can know that this is correct. If you ever are wondering, hey, do I have the correct answer? Well, you can always plug it into the equation and see if you get the correct answer. You can always check your work, which I recommend. All right, the next one I chose was, let's go ahead and do number 10 together. So let me look at number 10 real quick. What we have is n subtracted by 10, and that is equal to 4. All right. Okay, so same thing here. First steps, we want to put that balance beam through the equal sign. Whatever we do on one side of the balance beam, we have to do on the other side as well. Now, again, we want to get n isolated. We want to get it by itself on this side of the equal sign. So that means we need to get rid of this -10. So this is n subtracted by 10. So the opposite of subtracting n by 10 is to add it by 10. Remember, if we do it on one side of the balance beam, we have to do the exact same thing to the other side as well. Okay? So now we can go ahead and solve. We can bring down this n because these cancel out. Remember, they're opposites. So let's bring down this n. And then we have 4 plus 10. Well, 4 plus 10 is going to give us 14. and that is our final answer. Again, if you're not 100% sure, you can always plug this into the equation and see if you get the correct answer. So we know that n is 14, so we can substitute 14. Subtract that by 10 and have that equal to 4. Well, 14 minus 10 does actually give us 4. So 4 equals 4. So we know that that is the correct answer. Again, if you're not 100% sure, go ahead and test it to see if you have the correct answer. Okay, now we're going to practice some two-step equations, which is very similar, except we have, well, one more step to do instead. So the first one I chose for this one is number 14. And let's see, for number 14, we have negative 3 is equal to negative 4. And we're going to add that by x over 10, or x divided by 10. All right, so this is what we got for number 14. Again, this is a two-step equation. So first step again is we're going to put that balance beam through the equal sign. Whatever we do on one side of the equal sign, we have to do on the other side as well. And our goal is still to isolate our variable, which is x, okay? So that means we need to get rid of all the rest of the stuff on this side of the equal sign. Well, if you remember when we did our steps, when we did our notes, you have to get rid of the constant first. That is your first step, is to get rid of the constant. Well, this is our constant, okay? So to get rid of a negative 4, we have to use its opposite. And the opposite of negative 4, well, is positive 4. And if you do it on one side of the balance beam, you have to do it on the other side as well. All right. So now what we have is negative 3 plus 4. Well, negative 3 plus 4 is going to give us 1. Again, these cancel out, and we can bring down what we have left over, which is x over 10. All right, so after we got rid of our constant, well, we still need to solve this equation, and now it's turned into a one-step equation, which is just as similar as when we did 1 and 10. So this is this x divided by 10. If we want to get x by itself, we have to do the opposite of x divided by 10. Well, the opposite or inverse of dividing is multiplying. So when we say x divided by 10, well, the opposite will be multiplying it by 10. We can do that on both sides, because if we do it on one side of the equal sign, we do have to do it on the other side as well. And what we get this time is, well, 10 multiplied by 1. Well, that's just going to give us 10. And then again, these cancel out, leaving us with just x. And if you want to check your work, we can go ahead and do that as well. Our equation was negative 3. That was equal to negative 4 plus 10 over 10. Okay. Well, 10 over 10, when you have the same number in the numerator as the denominator in a fraction, well, that's just going to be equal to 1. Well, negative 4 plus 1, well, yeah, that's going to get us negative 3. So this checks out. We are correct, and we can go ahead and move on to our very last example, which is going to be number 15. All right, number 15 example is, let me check this out. All right, we have 5. We're going to add that by r. And that's over 2. And that's going to be equal to 9. All right. All right, so again, we want to get rid of this constant first. So what we have to do is we're going to multiply both sides by 2 first, because the opposite of dividing this by 2 is multiplying it by 2. Okay, so these cancel out, leaving us with 5 plus r. And then we have 9 multiplied by 2. Well, 9 times 2 is going to get us 18. And now we have a one-step equation. So we still want to get r isolated, so we need to get rid of this 5 plus r. Well, the opposite of 5 plus r is going to be negative 5. And if we do it on one side, we do still have to do that on the other side as well. These cancel out. We can bring down this r, and then 18 minus 5 is going to get us 13. 18 minus 5 is going to get us 13. So again, we can check our work by substituting our new r value into the equation. So again, we had 5 plus 13. That was divided by 2, and that's equal to 9. We need to make sure that this is equal to 9. Well, 5 plus 13. Well, 5 plus 13 is 18. So now we have 18 divided by 2. Well, 18 divided by 2 is 9. So this does work out. That is our correct answer. R is equal to 13. So guys, if y'all have any questions about that, let me know. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. I will see y'all later. Bye.